Thank you very much. Good morning, Coach Taylor, and welcome to the football teleconference.
Thank you guys so much. Looking forward to it. Obviously coming off a big win for our group and excited about getting a little time to heal up over this open week.
Thank you very much. As a reminder to members of the media on the call, please press star 1 at this time to get in the queue to ask questions. Coach, before we get to that, your thoughts on last week's win against South Alabama, and you touched on it, but the upcoming bye week.
Well, obviously that was a huge win for us. We thought the guys really played hard. We had some mistakes, things that we still want to clean up, but we really felt like we're getting closer to putting a complete game together on offense, defense, and special teams combined. We're not where we want to be, but we're a lot closer than what we were when we first started. So we are excited about this time that's coming up to try to fix both of those deals so that we can get closer and also give some of these guys time to heal up.
Thank you very much, Coach. Our first questions come from Wendell Barnhouse of today'sU.com.
Yeah, Coach, I was wondering, the staff, when the team starts 0-4, obviously you guys also kind of had a slow start last year, but what are the concerns when, it's 0-4 and obviously you're playing pretty tough non-conference competition, et cetera, but any concerns that the team's going to start losing confidence with that kind of start?
No, not really. Not when you have a head coach like Coach Anderson. Here's the thing that we do, guys. We don't let our circumstances change our standard. Our standard is the same all the time, and we try to preach to these guys that you should let your standard change your circumstance, but never let your circumstances change your standard. That'd be like me saying I'm going to coach harder for Auburn than I will for Utah State. I want to coach the same every day that we go out there to make sure that we improve and get better as a football team, and that's the same approach we try to take with our players. Regardless of our record, regardless of the score or the time on the clock, you should not be able to tell the way that you play by the score of the game or the time on the clock. You should play the same way. Your standard should always be the same. So, no, we didn't have any fear of that. I know outside people that are not involved in the program or just comments that you hear. But for our team and then for our staff, we continue to stay with the same standard that we set from the first day we set foot on campus.
And you guys have been really impressive in conference games. Is there again, kind of keeping that standard, is that the idea that, hey, conference games are important and we're going to do our best in those, and regardless of what's happened maybe to start the season, conferences where we're going to kind of get things accomplished?
And really, we try to go through two different seasons. We're different than the NFL. We don't get preseason games that don't count. All these games count, and every one of them are important. Non-conference and conference. We're just right now, obviously, each week you try to improve, and I think our football team has done that. And so we're playing better football than what we were earlier on, because you guys know there's no substitute for experience, and for you guys to put that together and be able to continue to see improvement is what you look for as a coach. And so we do break it up into two parts, and so we do feel like we're 2-0 in our second part of our season, but we still understand our overall record.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, Wendell. Coach, Chris Humes, who I mentioned in the opener, was the Defensive Player of the Week this week in the Sun Belt Conference. What did you see from him on Saturday against the Jaguars?
Chris has a lot of experience. The one thing that players get out of our defense is we play them in multiple positions. So Chris not only has played safety, he's played corner, he's played nickel, he's played the dime, which has improved his football IQ tremendously. He's a very talented player, but improving his football IQ was huge for him, and he's done a great job of that. He's one of those guys that really takes to heart when you say, we're going out there and we're looking to create turnovers. We're looking to do the little things and create momentum changing plays. And he took that to heart. And I think the rest of it becomes contagious for us. And so he was one of the guys that did that. And it was amazing. He won the award, but we have a deal where we have we have a rope, and we call it a knot. A knot is a non-offensive touchdown, and you get to tie a knot in the rope. We also have the turnover belt, where you get the belt for getting a turnover. We also have a pair of gloves where if you knock the ball out, then you get those gloves for punching it out. Well, he got all three on one play. He pulled the ball out, he picked up the fumble, and he scored with it, and so he got all three of them at the same time. So Chris is having a pretty good week. I told him that whatever he did, I want him to continue to do it, so because he's having a pretty good week.
That's great to hear. I will pause here for any final questions for secondaries coach Trooper Taylor of Arkansas State before we let him go. We actually do have one final question coming in from Matt Roberson with the Jonesboro Sun. Matt, please go ahead.
Hey, Coach. How are you this morning?
I'm doing well, my friend. How you doing, Matt?
I'm doing great. Hey, I just wanted to ask you about the confidence of the defense and how much it's growing here the last couple of weeks with the way you guys have played, especially coming off this game against South Alabama.
Well, it has, and again, we had a guy that came and talked to our team. His name is Bill. He's a fireman local here in town, and he came and talked to them about that everybody has a job specific to do when an alarm goes off, and whether like he has to drive the truck, or there's somebody that oversees this, and one guy that does the hose, one guy that does, and it takes everybody for the job to get complete. But the thing that he brought up that really stood out to our defense was when you start out as a rookie fireman, you have a yellow helmet. And then once you get on the truck and you get out of the yellow, you go to a black. That's when people have confidence. And, we do the same thing with our guys. You start out and then you have to earn your way. But the thing that jumped out to our defense when he was talking to him is he says, we don't get to schedule when fires come. They just happen. And so no matter what happens, we have to be prepared to run in when everybody else is running out. And that's the same way it is for us. We don't get to say, okay, the offense is going to turn the ball over here, or we might drop a punt here, or we don't know when that's going to happen. But whenever they put that ball down and a fire alarm goes off, we have to go out there and put that fire out. And he actually gave us a helmet, a black helmet to go with it, and it has an A-State shield on it, and it's an official helmet from the fire department. And it meant a lot to our guys, and I think they really bought into it, and it's been good for us. It's been very contagious, and you never know with kids what's going to spark them. We live in obviously in a different era. They're on Instagram, they're on Twitter, and all the social media stuff. But here's something as simple as a fireman coming and talking to them about the same things that we preach to them, but hearing it from a different perspective made a big difference. But, at the same time, they've taken a lot of pride in it, and they've run with it. And whatever it takes to motivate these young players, we're going to be about that. So I think that's had a lot to do with it, and I think they understand the standard that is set for our defense and for our football team, and so they're trying to uphold that.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt, and thank you, Coach Taylor. We appreciate your time. Was this your first time on a football teleconference today?
Yeah, it is. It's my first. I appreciate the opportunity.
Right. Yeah, no, we appreciate the chance to talk to you, and if we don't hear from you again on this, best of luck the rest of the season.
Thank you. Take care, and God bless.